I'd like to preface this video with saying that this video is not meant to cause division, nor is it meant as a criticism to other astrologers. I want my audience, both astrologers and non-astrologers, to understand what I'm going to say very clearly. We are all human and can make mistakes. So this is not to criticize the erroneous predictions made by most astrologers out there regarding the presidential election. But most of these astrologers have a huge following in social media. So I had to make this video addressing the ethical nature of astrology. Look, astrology is a sacred science. It's not meant to be taken lightly. We are talking about the will of God as seen in the heavens and communicated to us by the heavenly bodies. And as astrologers, the number one thing we should have in mind is the power and the effects of what we predict and share on social media, on human beings, both collective and individual. There were many people that were a complete nervous wreck on both sides of the fence during the days preceding the election and on the night of the election. And sadly, many still are. Why? Well, a lot of what these astrologers were saying was completely wrong. And even after they were completely wrong, some of them, instead of admitting they were wrong in their prediction, because it could happen to any astrologer, it could happen to anybody. No one's perfect. They have chosen to continue coming up with excuses like Kamala was supposed to win, but the timeline shifted because the collective wasn't with the plan or something like that. I mean, come on, the timeline shifted? How about more like Kamala's chart doesn't support her at all with the presidency? Look, anyone can make a mistake or a wrong prediction, but afterwards the right thing to do as professional astrologers is to go back to the chart and research why you were wrong. Find the mistake and then reveal that mistake to your audience. That way you can keep on growing as an astrologer and also maintain the level of transparency required with this beautiful field in which we work in. But no, instead, what the majority did that predicted this event erroneously, they've decided to keep on with erroneous predictions that are obviously fueled by their own bias and agenda, and now they add to their erroneous prediction that something will happen before the presidential inauguration that will prevent President-elect Donald Trump from becoming the 47th president of the USA. I want everyone to listen up real good. As a professional astrologer, and quite possibly the only Western astrologer that correctly predicted Trump's Uranian-style victory, and in the exact way it would happen. And I even predicted some of the things that would begin to happen immediately after his victory. And I even provided an astrological explanation of the Maha movement. I can assure you that absolutely nothing will happen to prevent President-elect Donald Trump from becoming the 47th President of the United States of America. I've gone through his transits very carefully, and I can guarantee that he will be safely and successfully inaugurated on January 20, 2025. I will share that information in detail in my next video. Now, his life is, astrologically speaking, still somewhat in danger until that time, because transiting Neptune, the ruler of his 8th house of death and longevity, is in his 8th house, and transiting Mars, which is natally conjunct his ascendant, is transiting his 12th, while his ascendant ruler Sun is transiting his 4th house until December 21st. So I would not be surprised if unsuccessful attempts are made to stop him from being inaugurated. But if they do occur, they will be completely unsuccessful. Plus, the ruler of his 8th house, Neptune, transiting the 8th isn't really bad for him actually, because it will be a great thing later on when it conjuncts transiting Rahu, but I'll explain why in my next video. And let me add on here once and for all that there's absolutely nothing in Kamala Harris's chart that points to her as becoming the next president of the United States of America. So for all the astrologers out there predicting erroneous things that only divide and scare people, please stop. If you're in denial, that's okay. There's therapy for that. But if you aren't 100% sure of your predictions, don't put them out there, please. They only cause more harm than good. But of course, that's just my suggestion. You are free to keep making yourself look bad. This is a free country after all. Look, if I honestly saw that something negative were amiss, I'd say it. No bias here. It's good to predict things, whether they be positive or negative, as long as the certainty behind it is 100% and backed up by true astrological knowledge. Yes, there are some challenging aspects for Trump from now to the inauguration date, but nothing that will stop him from becoming the 47th President of the United States of America. In my next video, I will be taking a dive into Trump's transits from now until inauguration date and explaining how, astrologically speaking, everything will be fine with him and he will safely and successfully be inaugurated as the 47th President of the United States of America. Until then, follow for more, and I'll talk to you soon.